Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Myself, I'm doing fine. So I have some time and I want us to go live. I want to get some questions from you and try to answer it. It has been some time since we last had our live session. So let's just do it without much ado. I will start with this basic information because there is a question that I have received regarding the second notification letter. For sure, we know that the DV lottery interviews are ongoing. It's just the other day that we got the visa bulletin for the month of April, and it affects the visas that will be, or the interviews that will be scheduled for the month of May. So regarding the 2NL, and the question was, I filled my DS260 in July of last year, and my case number is 40,000, and up to now, I have not received a second notification letter having it that my case number is current, and that is a case number from Africa. And this simply shows that we need an understanding what a 2NL is and at what time will you get this 2NL. And I know majority of us know about this, that the 2NL, the second notification letter, is only sent to those people whose number is current. That is one fulfillment. And the other one would be that your DS260 form has been processed by KCC. And the third one would be that your embassy, the embassy of your interview, has a slot for your interview. So coming to this question, I want to tell you that the 2NL, the way they are rolled out, is not dependent on the time that you submitted the DS260. And let me be clear, if you are case number 40,000, as you who asked, and we know that 40,000 for Africa is current, but you might find that in your embassy, they are not yet up to the case number 40,000 in terms of interview scheduling. You might find they are far, far below that. And therefore, you don't expect any 2NL up to now, since your embassy has not yet reached that point. So even if you submitted your DS260 very early, but your case number is current but very high and your embassy has not reached that case number, then you will not get your 2NL. I hope I'm clear. The second notification letters are sent numerically. That is to mean from the lowest case number up to the highest. Even if you submitted your DS260 form very early and your case number is high, you'll have to wait until it is reached. Those with lower case numbers will have their interviews first before your case number. I hope I've cleared that out. And if you have questions, my friend, you can type on the comment section. And if you can hear me, just comment that you can hear me so that we can continue. I'm trying to access my comment section here. And the first one that I see is Somali. He's asking about the case number 66K, and the location of the interview is in Asia, but the case number is 66K, Africa region. So which country in Asia specifically? I want to know which embassy in Asia specifically are you talking about? And then we have Lexmond. He says, let's go, bro. Yeah, welcome from Burundi. Welcome from Burundi. And then you're saying India. Let me just check for you. Of course, 66K for Africa region is quite high, but you still have some chances. And remember that 66K is not yet current for Africa. We saw in the last visa bulletin that we are just up to 55,000. So we are not yet current for the 66K. It is until it becomes current that that number can be scheduled for an interview in India if it is possible. Remember, it is high. So it is high until it becomes current, then you might get an opportunity for that. It does not mean that you don't have chances. There are still chances. In fact, every number has a chance, only that the chances keep on diminishing. So you'll have to wait, and we don't know up to when, maybe towards the end of the year, that is August and September there. And then we have Charles Karaoke. Hello there. Still following you. Grasp more. This content is very valuable. Thank you so much, Karaoke. And then we have hello AF47K in Nairobi. I hope Nairobi performance doesn't drop. Thank you always for information. Yeah, thank you so much. For now, or us up to now, Nairobi is performing quite well, quite well. In fact, we by last week we were at case number 35,997, around there, who had been interviewed. So we are hoping that they keep on this good work. And then we have Geoffrey Mugabo. Hi, Geoffrey. Tell me about the Kigali Embassy performance. Kigali Embassy performance, I've not had any issue, but let me just check for you. Kigali, Rwanda. And Kigali, Rwanda, they are upwards of 16,000. The case numbers that have been interviewed, it's about between 16,000 and 18,000. And this is not a bad progress for Kigali, especially knowing that there are not that many cases in Kigali, Rwanda. So it's not performing bad, it's performing okay. So it's a good one. And then we have Frank, AF45 Yaounde, Cameroon. So AF45, 45K is a good number for Africa, and Yaounde is performing awesome. So you have nothing to worry. Just wait for your turn. That is for your case to be reached. Cameroon is doing a good job. They are handling between 36 and 38,000 in terms of case numbers. And then we've got Michael Komiswa. Hi, Michael. He says, hello, sir, I can hear you. Yeah, that's good. Thank you so much. Then we have Somali. Is Somali is your name, or Somali is a tribe? I don't know. You can tell us. Anyway, please explain the reasons that causes the visa denial. Yeah, I have quite a number of videos explaining this, because we have two types of visa denial. We have the 221G visa refusal. That is a temporary denial, waiting for the information that they have requested you for them to go and check and examine, and then they can see if they can approve your case. That is the temporary visa refusal. But we have the visa refused. There are many reasons that can cause the visa refusal, but the first one and the major one is fraud. And fraud means you're providing false information. You are lying about your case. You're saying you are so and so, and this is your data, but you are somebody else with a different data. An example is you are single, then you say you're married because you want to move with this man or this lady to the United States. That is fraud, and you'll get denied the visa. Or you have kids, even though you are single, but you say you don't have kids, having a reason that you could not access the photos of your kids. That will bring or will cause a visa refusal. So when filling the DS260 form, or even when applying and throughout the process of the DV lottery, you are supposed to provide true information. You have to be truthful. Every true details about yourself, you present it and you will get successful. So the major one is fraud. Also, having a disease that is inadmissible into the United States that can cause you the visa denial, like tuberculosis, that can cause you visa denial. If you commit crime, felony, or any crime of moral turpitude, or you can cause any harm to the public, that can also lead to visa refusal. So, having known that, please take care of those things. And I have many videos explaining that. You can just scroll through the videos in this channel, you get across that video. And then we have My Game. That's an interesting name, My Game. Hi, if someone applied for DV lottery and scored an E in KCSE and gets selected, can you advise him or her to continue for further processing or stop because of his or her grade? Yeah, for me, I would advise you not to continue. But this topic is debatable because for East Africa, that is Kenya, I know you come from Kenya because it's KCSE. I have heard people say that the minimum grade that you can qualify for DV lottery for KCSE is D minor. And all through, people with D minor and above have been going successfully through the interview. But for E, remember that is a fail. That is a fail. And in fact, for those people coming from West Africa, those people doing the WASEC, we've seen several people getting visa denial because of a failure for a specific math subject. And so applies to Kenyans. If you get a fail, which is an E, you cannot qualify through the KCSE. So at least something above the D minus range. I hope I've answered you. And then we have Dennis Mashira. How are you, Dennis Mashira? Hello, AF55K Nairobi. Yeah, 55K for Nairobi. It still has some chance, though it is quite high. You need to wait. You need to wait. 50K is quite high, but you still have some chances. Remember, in the past years, like around 2018, 2017, we saw, and 2016, we saw Nairobi interviewing up to 63,000. So we hope that even this time they will reach that high. So we still are hoping for that. Just let's wait and see. And we have a Misty Papa. A Misty Papa says he's from Accra, Ghana, and then he says to check the Accra, Ghana performance. Yeah, Accra, Ghana performance is not good. It is bad. Yeah, it is bad. I know that is discouraging, but it is bad. And I did a video the other day, and I explained about the Nigeria, that is the Lagos embassy, and we saw and we know that the Nigerians are not eligible or were not eligible for the DV lottery 2024. But that did not mean that the Lagos embassy could not handle the DV lottery cases for the region. They are supposed to do that. But from the previous DV lottery, that is the DV lottery 2023, they conducted 0 interviews for DV lottery. And we are seeing the same trend happening at this moment. And I was saying, if you are in Ghana, Accra, Ghana Embassy, and as up to now, we only see about 60 interviews conducted. So if you are in Accra, Ghana, you need to look for ways to transfer your case out of the Accra embassy. Are you getting me right? Even if you're current, I know it is a hard process, it's a difficult one. You can contact Accra, Ghana embassy, and then you try to talk to them, tell them that you want to transfer your case to this embassy because maybe you have moved to that embassy or you can easily access for the open border countries. Then you need to as well contact the embassy that you choose to transfer your case to and ask them to receive or whether they can receive your transferred case. And if the two embassies agree, then you can smoothly transfer your case to that embassy. Though it's not that easy, but you need to fight for this. I would say that this is just like a chance of a lifetime. I would have fought and got my interview rescheduled to a different embassy. So all the best in doing that. Accra, Ghana is not doing good. In fact, for now, they are just between 4,000 and 6,000. Look at that. That is so sad. So, not doing good, not good news. And then we have this. Michael, so let's say you used a social media, but you don't remember. If it falls within the 5-year time frame, can you just indicate it on the DS260 or leave it? So you are asking about the social media, and I know this topic will help a great deal of people here. Remember, when filling the DS260 form, you are supposed to provide all your social media accounts. And if you do not, I've seen countries requesting the interviewees of the form DS5535. So you need to list all your social media accounts. And this is for further examination, further checks of your case. And in an earlier video I told you, you should be very careful of what you're posting on the social media. If it's something that is illegal, something that can cause harm, something that is against the security of the people or the United States, any harmful content that you can harm a minor, maybe sexually or whichever way, in general, harmful content, you should avoid that. And coming to your question, you are supposed to list all accounts, but we are human beings, I know, and sometimes we forget about everything. You can try and get that account, but if you cannot at all, then you cannot list it, because what will you list? Because you don't remember anything. So anything that you can get about your social account, list it there. But if you cannot remember and access, then there will be no harm in that. But if they come across and they point it out during your interview, then be clear and be open and say about that account. If they can remind you, then accept. You need to admit that you own that account and you had forgotten, and that just prove that. But the point is, you need to list every social media account that you have. And then we have Zephany. How are you, Zephany? Hello, bro. Thanks for your support through the effective explanation you are giving. Let me hear from you. Do you think Kigali Embassy will reach 65 at the end of the year? I'm not sure, and no one can tell you. Let no one try to predict that. No one can tell that. We just need to wait. Remember, this is the year where we had very huge case numbers, around 122K. That's when we saw that. And that means that we have quite some number of holes in between. So this year, we might, and I'm just saying, we might probably see some higher case numbers getting interviewed across those embassies that are excellently performing. So if the embassy is excellently performing, we might find a very high case number getting interviewed. But that's not a promise. No one can tell that. About Kigali, Rwanda reaching 65K, we cannot tell. But what we have to do is just wait and see. But remember, every case has a chance. And then we have Joel. How are you, Joel? Hello, sir. You skipped my question. My question was, is it possible to get a 2NL this month? I'm case number 43,000, Yaounde. And I told you I cannot guess on that, but let me just open it up here. I told you that we are now at 36, between 36 and 38 in terms of case numbers already interviewed. And right now, since the visa bulletin at the end of last week was released, and it covers the cases all the way to the month of May, and interviews are being scheduled. That is to mean people are getting the 2NL for the month of May from now, and it will continue for about now 2 weeks. That is toward the end of the month and early days of May. That is the end of this month and early days of April. Now, we might see you getting the 2NL because you are current, but it's not a promise. We shall see the 2NL being rolled out from 36 all the way to 38, all the way to 40, but we don't know up to what limit, and we don't know when exactly you'll get your 2NL. Am I clear? Then we come here. We have Omolo Eugene. How are you, Omolo? Hello, sir. Sorry. Hello, VS. What's the highest case number interviewed so far for Nairobi? And I've told you Nairobi, I saw 35,997 around there interviewed by the end of last week. So it might have gone higher because we have some few days that have just elapsed since the end of last week. So maybe around 36 there. And again, Somali says, my name is Ifra. Yeah, thank you, Somali. I know Somali is a tribe. Thank you so much. And then we have Maneno Juan. Maneno Juan. Hello, sir. Nice seeing you once again. AF 35,000 from Uganda, but will be interviewed from Nairobi. I hope I can receive the 2NL soon, since Nairobi is at case number 35,900. But what is worrying though, yeah, you need to complete that statement. But yeah, for 35,332, you can receive your second notification letter anytime, just anytime. You are expecting it anytime. And then we have Omolo has this question. Hello, how do you go about when engaged to a lady with stepkids? Are you required to have DNA certification for the kids? No, not really. So long as you are married, not engaged, you must be married. They will only become your stepkids after legal marriage. After obtaining the certificate of marriage, that's when they qualify to become your stepkids. So I see you're saying you're engaged. That means they are not your stepkids. So you need to get married for them to become your stepkids. And once they become your stepkids, you don't require any DNA certification. No, you don't need that. And then we have Eric Hamisi Omare from Burundi. Welcome from Burundi. You are 58K in terms of case number. From your analytical skills, can I transfer to Nairobi before I become current? Where are you scheduled? Are you scheduled in Kigali or in Nairobi? So be specific. And then we have, hi, I'm Gladys. Welcome, Gladys, from Kenya. Please tell me about Juba. I think you're meaning Juba, Sudan Embassy. Juba, South Sudan have their interviews in Nairobi, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, you're supposed to take your interviews from Nairobi. Just a little bit. So I think you are scheduled for your interview in Nairobi, if I'm not wrong. So if in Nairobi, then Nairobi is performing good. And you just need to wait for your case to become current. If not, you've not said about your case number, but you are supposed to be interviewed in Nairobi. My game, if you get selected maybe on May, and you do your wedding on July, and you include your new wife in DS260, when you go to the interview, how will you convince the consular your wedding wasn't fraud? The marriage certificate, that's what proves. But to prove it well, you have to come with documents to show that your relationship existed even beyond you being selected, even beyond even application, that you had these plans of getting married even before you won or even before you applied. Have those documents that show that. And a good example is photos. Good example is joint statements, maybe bank statements. Good example is pre-weddings, the pre-wedding documents. Anything that tied you together when engaged, just come with those documents and you will be good to go. And then we have, please, what can you say about AF63 becoming current and having 2NL from Cameroon? I've just answered a question like that. I don't see I need to repeat that. Everyone has a chance, so you need just to wait, though it's a high case number. And I've said Cameroon is not performing badly. And then we have AF 15,000, and this is from Franklin. Case number AF 15,116, yet not received 2NL, hoping to be interviewed in Lagos. Any hope? I just said if you're in Lagos, Nigeria, I repeat, get your case out of Lagos, Nigeria. Especially if you're not yet current. If you're not yet current, get off your case number or your interview from Nigeria, from the Lagos Embassy. I see some danger. We have 0 interviews up to now. I know you're current for 15,000. You're so current. Contact the Lagos embassy. Tell them you want to transfer your case maybe to Lome, Togo. And then contact Lome, Togo and request them to accept your transfer. And do it just right away. Don't try to leave your case there. I know it's a difficult process, but just fight for that. I'm sure that you might end up not getting your interview. Just do that. And then we have Shrestha. Yeah, Shrestha. Hi, what about case number 10,000? When can I expect? From which region? Is it Asia region? Is it Europe region? Where are you from? Yeah, from Nepal. So you come from Nepal. So for Nepal, let me just get the correct data. Let me get the correct data for Kathmandu. Kathmandu, we are now at between case number 4,000 and 6,000. And I know we have it placed as an exception current in the country in the visa bulletin. So right now we are between 4,000 and 6,000 in terms of interviews. Just give me a moment as I open up this. Meanwhile, let me check from Abu Bakar. Hi, from Somalia. My case number is 54 and in Madagascar. Is there any hope for getting the 2NL? So Madagascar, and you are Madagascar, and you are case number 54. Antananarivo, let me just check it for you. Do you mean 54 or 54K, or what do you mean? If it's 54, you should have gotten your case, of course. You should have gotten your interview. Do you mean 54,000 or what? But if 54, you should have gotten your 2NL. I don't know why it's delaying. Maybe it's because they are not through with the DS260 processing. So maybe they are processing your DS260 and they are not yet through. Or do you mean 54K? And then let me come back to Nepal. So for Kathmandu, we have, for Asia, we have cutoff number 8,000. So 11,000 is not yet current. And for Nepal is about 7,100. So you have to wait. You just have to wait. It's still a low case number, but you have to wait for that. And then we have 48K. Please let me know the day. No one can tell that. No one can tell when you'll get your 2NL. And then we have John, 45,000 from Uganda, assigned to Nairobi. What are my chances? You have a chance. Hello, sir, for your insight. I had Accra sent 2NL this month. Can you clarify that also? What is your opinion on the case of 8K? Later, just later. By the speed that is performing, then not that soon. Maybe 2 months from now or 3 months from now, unless they improve. Yeah, there are some few 2NLs. I can confirm that for you. Just a moment. Accra can confirm that for you. Let me confirm that for you. Yeah, we have about 19 cases ready. That is in total. We have about eight cases ready, not 19. 8 cases ready. So yeah, some of you have gotten the 2NL around there, while others are still in the process of getting. Accra Embassy is really misbehaving. And again, here we have, where were we? Where were we? We have Ideal. I played as married and I have 2 kids and I got selected. My marriage was in March before the results. Do you think I have problem? No, you don't have any problem. No, you don't have any problem. So long as you included your wife and your 2 kids, you are very okay. And then says, Franklin, I've written to Lagos, Nigeria Embassy and no response yet. I'm fed up. Yeah, I know it's not an easy thing, and I said that it's not an easy thing. You need to get access to the Lagos Embassy, even if it's calling. You have to fight. That's what I mean. I know it's not easy. It's not straightforward. That's what I said. It's not straightforward. What you need to do is to push. Look for all means, whichever means. Yeah, you have to fight. You have to fight. Unfortunately, you have to fight. Did you finish up on how to fill the DS260? That is Michael asking. Yeah, I have some parts about filling the DS260 form. I will do it when that is after the selection. That is after May, we shall fill the DS260 together, the whole of it. And remember, I have a video about filling the DS260 from stage 1 all the way to submission. You can look it through the videos on this channel. Then we have Momo Kamara. Hi Momo, I have a German passport and I was born in Ghana. I never plan to play the DV. I'm now confused. Should I relocate to the US? Am I getting you? I was born in Ghana. I never plan to play the DV. I'm now confused. Should I relocate to the... I can't get your question. But remember, your country of birth is Ghana. And as you're playing the DV lottery, you should use your country of birth. The passport has nothing to do with your qualifications. A passport is just a travel document. You qualify through the birth certificate, the country of your birth, not the passport country. And then, though you can ask your question again. Then we have the ideal. I'm living in Dubai because of financial issues. I can't go home in Cameroon for interview. I requested already to transfer my case. Can I have the chance to be interviewed in Abu Dhabi? Yeah, if they have transferred your case, have you confirmed? Because you need to confirm. You should have the notification saying that it has been transferred. So you need to confirm. Is it transferred? Has it been transferred? If it has been transferred, then you can have the chance to be interviewed in Abu Dhabi. And then we have my game. If your host bailed out few weeks before your interview and declined to send you the affidavit of support, then on the day of the interview, you use another host document from the one on the DS264. Is that bad? Not at all. That is okay. That is very good. If your initial host fails to comply towards the interview, you just put the host aside, get another host, use the details. But remember, during the interview, change the host detail. Just request that you want to change the host details. You will change it there and everything will be okay. That is the good route to go. And then you have, sir, is the DV Lottery Resort 2025 out already? Not yet. The DV Lottery Resorts in every single year comes out in the month of May, the early days of the month of May. To be specific, the DV Lottery 2025, we shall have it out on May the 4th. So May the 4th of this year, then you're free to visit the dvprogram.state.gov/entrance status check ESC. Then you put your details and see. It's not yet out up until the 4th of May, and we still have 52 days to go. Have 52 days, 15 hours to go. And then we have Frank. Thank you for your insight. Hoping to receive the 2NL. Yeah, all the best. And then we have Noel Kilo. Hello, thanks a lot for your great analysis. May God bless you. Thank you. I wish to find out if you get selected after playing DV with your legal or legally adopted niece. Does this pose a problem to the process? Yeah, if you have legally adopted a kid, that kid becomes eligible to be your derivative. So your niece, by the virtue that you have adopted him legally, he qualifies to be your adopted kid, and he should be added in the application. So if you added him, then you did right. If you added, or let me say this way, if you adopted him after you have applied, then on the DS260 form, you add him because you adopted him after the application. So you qualify to add him on the DS260 form. That is what should be. And there should be no problem so long as you have the adoption documents. And then we have Joel. What is the performance of the Kigali Embassy? I've just talked about it. Just scroll back and you'll see that. And then ideal, just make sure your request was honored. Make sure that your request to transfer to Abu Dhabi was honored. If not, you need to push for the transfer. If you ignore, then your case will not have been transferred from Cameroon, and that means you might end up losing that chance because you cannot go there. If at all they fail to transfer your case, you'll have to look for ways to be at the Yaoundé embassy for the interview. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, the way to get out of Lagos is to look for whichever way you can reach them. Look for ways you can get hold of them and request them to transfer your case. That is the only way. There's no shortcut. Yeah, it is tough, but there's no shortcut. Now, I see myself coming to the end of the video. Let me see the last few questions. Thank you, sir, for the services. Always, brother. And please, my question is, Uganda for DV is under Kenya Embassy, sure. But then how can I know the performance of Uganda in winning the DV lottery? Thank you. No one can tell about winning the DV lottery. No one can gauge. You cannot gauge it by any country. Remember, what you can gauge is the performance of the Nairobi embassy for you, the Ugandans, and then know when your interview would possibly be scheduled. But about winning, you cannot gauge using any country. So yeah, no one can know about the winning. And then we have, is there any problem if I take a translator with me? I will have an interview this month. Yeah, interpreters are required. If you can't understand English and your embassy speaks English, then you need an interpreter, an approved interpreter, not just any person, approved interpreter. They are required, and you need that. That's what is required of you. Nairobi is doing good. And then my game says, can you use commission of oath from a lawyer stating you were in the relationship with your partner or insurance cover document to verify you are in a relationship with your partner plus the marriage certificate? Any document that can predate your winning, any document that can show information before your winning that you are together, that is the document that is required. A document that can prove the joint even before winning, whichever document. And then we have, thanks a lot, yeah, welcome, verified. So, and by the way, thank you for those who joined the YouTube community. Your help is so awesome. Remember, whatever you contribute goes directly to support the expenses of running the website and every other thing that we have here. So thank you for joining the membership. And then we have, I played the DV 2025 with a single email address for my siblings and friends. Can that raise an issue upon selection? And also after selection, can I use the same email for filling the DS260 for multiple people? I mean, why would you do that? Why would you do such a thing? Every person should have his own email or her own email. Why should you use different one email for different people? Why should you use that? Every person should have a single email. Anyway, when filling the DS260 form, don't use the same email, all of you. Everyone create their own email. I mean, it's free. Are you charged for an email? No. During filling the DS260, in case you are lucky, use different emails. And then someone is asking a very interesting question here. We have Lucas. Hello. Are there diversity visa waivers? I rarely hear of that. Though there is a document that I read that people have tried to look for waivers. And by this I mean they were denied visas during the interview because of one reason or the other, and they tried to file for some waiver to be reconsidered. But I've never heard of any working. Remember, once you fail a DV interview, it is almost impossible, and up to now I can say it is impossible for you to sue the embassy for not approving your case. Yeah, when we come to the side of the crimes, there are crimes in DV lottery that can be waived. There are crimes that you do that are not of great magnitude that can be waived. You can apply for waiver for you to succeed in the DV lottery. But the waiver in terms of getting visa refused and then you want to file against it, I've never heard of a successful one. Maybe they're there, but I've never heard of that. And then we have Franklin. Advise me on how I can leave the Lagos embassy. I've said you just need to push. I don't know how to do. I've just advised you. You look for even phone contact. You do a direct call and reschedule that. If you can be allowed, you visit the embassy. I don't know if you can be let in, but get a direct contact and do that. That's the only thing I can say. And then we have Anne Gay, nice for being here, watching from Dubai. Welcome, Anne. And then we have Lucas. Yeah, I've just answered about the waivers. We have Courier. Hello, do I choose the consulate or embassy where I have my interview or not? That's a good question. You don't have the authority to choose. When you are applying, the location, the current location of your residence is taken as the default country to base your interview. If your default location is Egypt, for example, your current location is in Egypt, definitely the embassy for your interview will be the Cairo embassy, and so on. So you don't have a choice. They take it as the default embassy nearest to your residence. If it is in Algeria, then Algiers will be your embassy. But when filling the DS-260, you might have relocated or moved to a different country, maybe for a visit, or maybe for a stay, or maybe for a job. And by the time you'll be getting your interview, you will be there. You have the option of filling the current location as that location you are in at the time you are filling your DS-260 form. And despite you filling the previous country in the application, they will consider what you filled in the DS-260 form, but not a must, not a must. I've seen people filling a different embassy, but they are returned to their embassy they are in their initial application. So what you need to do, if you want to go that way, you need to fill in on the DS-260 form the new current location. And then after submitting, you follow up with an email later on and tell the KCC to take note of your change of location. You need to do a follow-up after some time. You do a follow-up and request, have they noted of the changes? You follow up for them to change. I hope I've answered you. And then we've got, what can I do if the passport of derivative comes at last minute? That is Lucas. Yeah, remember, and thank you, Lucas, for asking this question, because I had forgotten there is a comment that I responded to. A person was asking that person submitted the DS-260 form on January. Are you getting that? This person submitted the DS-260 form this January, just a month away. Yet he was selected May last year. That person had to wait up to January for them to submit the DS-260 form. And the reason was they could not get the derivatives passport on time. That was very wrong. Very, very wrong. You should not wait for your derivatives passport for you to submit the DS-260 form. If you want your case not to be delayed in terms of processing, submit your DS260 form as early as possible, regardless of whether you have your derivatives passport. In the derivatives information, where you're supposed to fill the travel information, you can use a different number. For example, your national identity card's number in the place of their travel number information, and submit. And then after obtaining the passports, you can request KCC to unlock it for you to update the information if your number is not yet current. But if it is current and you receive the passport number the last minute, as you're asking, the last minute towards the interview, just go with the passports to the interview. That is okay and it's normal. Many people have gone through that route. Just take the passports with you to the interview, and there you will have a chance to change this information, to update it with the information. So never get late in submitting the DS260 form on the reason that you don't have the derivatives passport. That is very wrong. Don't do that. You just take your passport. I'm answering you now. Just take the passport, this passport that you've gotten in the last minutes, with you to the interview, and everything is okay. That is very correct. Thank you for that question, Lucas. And then we've got Momba watching from Pretoria, South Africa. Welcome, Momba. My question today is, if married and selected DV lottery, you will fill DS261 for both or single person, and how is it going to be, please? Yeah, this is a very good question. So we are waiting for the results, and you applied as married, and you're asking, when filling the DS260 form, do I fill one DS260 form or do I fill a DS260 form for each derivative? The answer is each derivative should have his DS260 created. So a DS260 for everyone in your family, and also print the confirmation pages for them. So fill your DS260 as a principal applicant, then for your spouse, and then for your kids, and have their confirmation pages. So each member a DS260 for them. And then we have Mustafi Abdi. Is it necessary that a person can speak English? No, it's not necessary that you speak English. Your country may be Francophonie and you know only French. You just speak French. And if the embassy you are going for the interview, they are English speaking, Anglophones, then you need to come with an interpreter. That's simple. And I had another question here about the documents. If my documents are in French, when filling the DS260 form, do I call or indicate the French name? For example, for those using baccalaureate, do I type baccalaureate in or on the DS260 form in the academic section? And the answer is yes, you write the name of that certificate, baccalaureate. But remember, when attending the interview, if that country is an Anglophone and your documents are in French or in whichever other language, you need to come with interpreted version of the documents. Are you getting me right? You need to come with the versions that have been interpreted. But when filling the DS260 form, use the exact name that is there. If it's baccalaureate, use baccalaureate. But remember, the DS260 form is filled in English. So you just get the interpretation of the documents and come with them in the DV interview. And then we have 51K for Nairobi Embassy. That's a high number, yes, but it still has some chances. And if you go back, if you can scroll back on this video, I explained everything. I told you that this year we might have quite some huge number getting interviews, probably because we have a big number of holes in between, but not a promise. We might see it going up to maybe 60K, I know, for those excellently performing embassies, but not a promise. Anyway, let's go on. Korea says thank you for that, welcome. And then we have Japhet. Japhet, bro, is there hope for 51K? I've just answered that. And then we have Bernard. Bernard says, my siblings misplaced their confirmation number for DV 2024 and we couldn't retrieve it since they did not remember their email password. Thus, why I create a single email for them? No. This is serious. So you are saying the reason as to why you applied for DV Lottery 2025 is because with the same email for several people is because in the DV Lottery 2024 they forgot their email. But let me come back because I want to understand your case. That they forgot their email and therefore could not access the results because they had lost their confirmation number, if I'm getting you right. But do you know you can retrieve your confirmation number? Did you know that? And I have a video explaining that you just need to know your last name. That is the last name that you used when filling the DS260, the application, the initial application. And then you just need the year of your birth and the email, not the password, not the email password, but the email. And then when the confirmation is sent to your email, then you just need to say forgot the password. Yeah, you need to just click forgot the password, and I need to reset. And you just reset. Yeah, just reset the password and then you get access to your email. I mean, I've lost my password to my email several times. I just click forgot, verify using this line, and then I do that. I mean, I can't understand. I just can't understand. Probably you are selected, but you did not know. You need to do that. Just check. Try to recover your password. It's just that simple. And then we have Bernard. Thank you for your insight, dear. Welcome, Owusu. And then we have AJ Korea. What information do they require from the sponsor, the host, as we fill the DS260 form? Only the permanent address. At the time you're filling the DS260 form, you only need the permanent address from your host. That is an address in the United States. So the host who is in the United States should provide you with the address they are using for you to use as the permanent address. That's the only thing that you need at the point of filling the DS260 form. But remember, later on during the interview, if your country or your embassy normally requests for the affidavit of support, that is when you will require them to provide you with the Form I-134 plus the accompanying document. But at the point of filling the DS260 form, you only need them to tell you of the address to use as the permanent address. And then we have SOM. My case number is AF 109. Wow. Transfer to Nairobi is okay. From which embassy? And 109 is already current. I think you should have gotten a long time ago. 109, that is a very low case number. Very low case number. Unless your embassy has scheduled none. Yeah, that's very low case number. Yeah, Nairobi is a good embassy. You can transfer to that if you can. Yeah, watching from Liberia. Isaac Banks, thank you. And then you're saying, please check the Liberian embassy. Yeah, let us check Monrovia embassy and see how it performs. Yeah, Monrovia is performing excellently, very excellently. Because we are upwards of 42, 43, 44 in terms of interview scheduling and also interviews conducted. Monrovia is doing good, it's doing fine. You are on or in a good embassy, Banks. Yeah, I see no more questions. We can still organize some other live to answer other questions. But remember, you guys, you need to subscribe to this channel if you have not. And I know, and I've seen that we have many viewers or viewership that are returning, people that are returning, meaning they are watching videos now and then, but they have not subscribed. Why don't you do me a favor and subscribe and push the bell on so you can be notified every time we have a live or we have a video posted. Just click on the subscribe button. That is just simple. And if you wish, you can join the group, the membership. It's just at a small fee per month, and it keeps us running, keeps us going. Let us see some few more questions here. What do we have? We have also we have another one from Monrovia, Liberia. Edward Jones, welcome, welcome. Hello, I'm watching from Monrovia. Can they ask for additional document beside the pre-interview checklist? Definitely yes. Yeah, that's true. Most embassies, especially the African embassies, I've seen them requesting the affidavit of support. That is to prove that you have sufficient support to sustain you as you kickstart life in the United States. It could be in form of the bank statements. Maybe you have enough savings to take you through. Alternatively, you could get some sponsorship from a person in the United States. We normally call them sponsors. And they should provide you a filled up Form I-134 to prove that they can fend for you as you're taking life in the United States, that you cannot become a public charge depending on the food stamps, for example, or for the public support. So yeah, there are some documents that are needed. Also, if you are married or you married after getting selected, of course you'll need proof documents to show that, and they're not listed there. Anyway, that is it about that. So you need to check whether Monrovia have the habit of requesting for the affidavit of support and then get one. But I normally tell people it's better to have one just in case they ask, because we are supposed to avoid at all costs being thrown into 221G visa refusal because of simple things like affidavit of support. So let's take some more questions. Can someone access the confirmation code if somebody applied for him or her DV lottery through her email. The one holding the email can update the password. So liaise with that person, come together and try to retrieve the password. Remember, she or he created the email alone and she has the details, the personal details needed. So you need to liaise with her. You need to liaise with her and recover the password for you to get the confirmation code. You never know. I've said you might have been selected and then you want to lose this chance. And then we have Jesse Mwangi. Hello, can I transfer my interview to South Sudan Embassy in Juba in case I'm selected? I'm Kenyan. No, the Juba Embassy is not performing. The selectees from South Sudan, they are sent to Nairobi Embassy. Where are you getting this information? I wonder. Did Juba start interviewing? I don't think so. No. The South Sudanese are sent to Nairobi for their interviews. And why should you transfer your case from Nairobi to Juba anyway? Nairobi is performing excellently. And we are saying, for the medical part of it, what are the crucial vaccinations needed besides COVID-19? What can one look out for and prepare for the medicals? About 3 or 5 videos away, I did this. I explained the medical, the vaccination that are required, which diseases are you supposed to be immunized against. Everything is there. Just go and look for the medical in the past 3 or 5 videos. Just you get every vaccination that you're supposed to go through, apart from COVID. And then we have Simplice. I hope I'm pronouncing it good. Simplice? Anyway, and Johannesburg. Are you from Johannesburg? What about Johannesburg? And then John's, thanks. And then we have Farah. What's the highest number they scheduled for interviews in a row? I've just said around 55,997. And we have, so does the KCC process all the DS260 form that is sent to them? Definitely yes. They would go through all the DS260 forms. And in the previous history, I've seen them processing the DS260s for every person from the month of May after selection all the way to around February. They are supposed to be through with the processing unless that year changes. But normally by end of February, they are usually through with them. And in most years, in the past years, December they were through with almost every case, but we've seen it extending to around February there. So they go through every single DS260 submitted. Yeah. Mesma, why are you jumping my question? Yes, I've jumped your question. Sorry for that. From Ethiopia. Yeah, from Ethiopia. You are saying my case is 29,400. Is at NVC about 3 months. But I didn't get the 2NL. What is your advice? My case is 29,000, AF 29,400. Is at NVC about 3 months. But I did not get the 2NL. What's your advice? No, if your case is at NVC, you don't expect any 2NL. No, you don't. But I don't think 29,000 is at NVC. 29,000 is already current. it should be ready. But never mind the statuses, they sometimes have problems. They mix up sometimes. But 29,000 is already current. And if it's current and your DS260 form has been processed successfully, and Addis Ababa Embassy has some vacancies to admit in more interviews, then you will get your 2NL. But we cannot tell why is it behaving that way, the Addis Embassy, because 29,000 should have been interviewed. But yeah, that's how it's happening. Addis Ababa is not performing that good, but we hope you will get this 2NL, because when I check for the Addis, we are as low as 14,000. 14,000 scheduled or interviewed cases. You see, yeah, I'm not happy with Addis Ababa. They are not doing a good job. So that's what I can just answer. Anyway, keep heart, and maybe later in the year you'll get it before the year lapses. What more do we have? We have, let me take some few and then we come to the end. Edward Jones from Monrovia. Will I be asked for job experience if I'll give my educational required documents, high school diploma, the work certificate, passed? No. Remember, guys, that you are supposed to qualify using one, either the work experience or the academic way. If you have the academic qualifications, put the work experience aside. You will not be asked for it. And academic qualification, that is the easiest way to qualify, because if you don't have the academics, then you will be needed to have the work experience. And the work experience, to sufficiently prove it that it qualifies you, is a tough job, because it is very subjective, subjected to many things. You have to convince the consular officer, and they are majorly administrative jobs. Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. So you don't have to produce any evidence of work experience. Academic is sufficient. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to list your work. Of course, on the DS26 form, you'll have to list all the occupation that you've gone through. That is true. And you can carry the documents. You carry all the documents that you have, including the recommendation and the job documents. But if you qualified through academics, you are not requested of this. It is not based on your work experience for you to qualify. Already you've qualified using the academics. And then we have Bovat. We have Bovat Theo. Please, sir, can I get advice on what to do with my case that has been current since October, but till now not to an yet? 6K Cameroon. 6K Cameroon, you should have gotten your 2NL. Yeah. 6K Cameroon, you should have gotten your 2NL. You might find out that maybe your case has not yet been fully processed, the DS260 form. And that could be one of the main reasons as to why you've not gotten your 2NL. So you need to email KCC and request of the progress and see whether you're ready. If so, you also need to contact the embassy and follow up with that case. That is the proper advice that you should get. If I won the DV lottery when I'm filling the DS260 and didn't add some passport of other nations I have, will there be any chance they will know if... Of course, yes, you need to add all the passports. Remember, you're given that room. Add them. Add them. So if you're not current, request unlock and update, or update it during the interview. For Somali, I'm self-employed and also have previous work experience, and also I have vocational skills and high school diploma. Is a problem more documents I entered? No, there's no problem. You will qualify academically, yes, but list everything that you have. And then we have Simon. But can you win if you failed primary school? Since there were that options on the DV lottery, I think there was a reason for them to put that option. Definitely yes, Simon. There is a reason as to why there is primary education and also vocational course or qualification there. Those two, there's a reason why they are there. So the primary, let me come this way. If you are not qualifying through academics, that is to mean you don't have a high school diploma, so-called the high school certificate in some countries. If you don't have the high school certificate, then you select the primary, or if you have vocational skills, you select the vocational skills. And the vocational skills and the primary will allow you to qualify through the work experience. Are you getting me, Simon? That is the reason it is there. That if you don't have the high school, you could either be having vocational skills or the primary education. And you're supposed to choose either of the two because you don't have the high school diploma. And by you selecting those two, it means you are definitely or automatically qualifying through work experience. Is the point home? Yeah. Then we've got Faith Wanjiko. Welcome, Wanjiko. Hi, case number 10K, but not yet to NL. Yeah, the problem might be an issue with the DS260 processing. Why don't you follow up with KCC and know of your status? Just email them, request them of your case, and know the response. Know the status through the response they give you. If the response is that it has been processed and ready for the interview, then you need to contact the embassy. I know Wanjiko is from Kenya. The Nairobi embassy, contact them and request of the process. But remember, maybe you had submitted your DS260 late, I don't know. Or maybe you submitted it early, but had some information that needed background verification or checks. So it took long time. And by the time you're sending the request, maybe they are just through with the processing and therefore it is current. So whichever reason could have led to the delay. So you just need to contact KCC and know the progress. I'm just about to come to the end of the live. So please, let me see which questions we shall answer here. About case becoming current and not receiving the 2NL, I told you there are 3 things that must be fulfilled. Your DS260 form must have been processed fully. There must be a vacant in your embassy to accept new interviews, and your number must be current. Those 3 must be fulfilled. If one of them is broken, then don't expect that. That one everyone should have known that by now. And then Simon, again, let me see what you're saying. Good, you are the most important person. You just gave me hope. Some people who call themselves professionals told me severally that primary can't qualify. Is it possible I'm a primary level candidate? Of course, primary level will not qualify you. Yeah, that is correct. The qualification is high school certificate. Then if you don't have the high school certificate, you select those two, either vocational or primary. And then you have a chance of qualifying through work experience. Get me right. And then we have Hassan. Hassan, bro, what if all the passports I have different dates and month? Will there be any problem? It will ask me if and why passport have different. No, you just put all the information on the DS260 form. Include all the passports from the alien countries that you have. How do I follow up and know if my status? Of course, you just email KCC. Email KCC, request them of your status. Just email KCC and request the status of your case. That is the simplest way to go. And then we have Daniel Mutinda. Can you submit DS260 form without a passport? Yeah, you can submit without a passport, but use a different number, like for example, your national identity number, but get the passport and update it as soon as you can. And then Simon still comes here. Also, I didn't understand well. So, will I be selected if I fail primary school? Then on the interview, I go with work. Of course, the DV lottery selection does not depend on what you've selected there in terms of academics. If you selected vocational primary, everyone has equal chance of selection. Even if you have a postgraduate, the PhD, those high certificates, diplomas that you have up there, and you just selected the primary education, all of us who applied have equal chances of getting selected. You might be selected and a person with a doctorate not get selected. Everyone has equal chance of selection. And then we have Mesma. As I informed you above, my case is at NBC. So can I move it to other embassy? No. Just contact KCC and do that. Remember, case number is current. Current means your case number falls below the cutoff number on the visa bulletin. And the visa bulletin is on upward of 55 for Africa. So your case is current. So you cannot transfer. It is hard unless you want to do inter-embassy transfer. So if you want to do inter-embassy transfer, then you need to contact the both embassies. But remember, it's not an easy step. What I advise you to do is just contact KCC, request of the information. If they say your interview or your case is ready for interview processing, then you need to contact the embassy. But remember, for Addis Ababa, we are still on 16. 29 is not yet. 29,000 is not yet reached by the Addis Ababa embassy. Let me confirm if I'm talking to the right person. So let's come to Somali says, initially I entered, when I applied, I chose vocational skills. So in the initial application, you chose vocational skills. And on the DS260 form, you entered both vocational and high school. So the officer or the consular, is it possible? He said why you did that. Then you did wrong by you, if you have the high school diploma, and this should be the high school equivalent of the United States high school, 12 years of elementary and the secondary education, 12 years. If it is equal to that, that is what you should have used, not the vocational skills. So if it's not that way, then you feel the vocational skills, you have to qualify through the work experience. And Simon says, you have answered my question and I'm satisfied. Now let me listen to other questions and answers from you. Thanks, bro. I had B1, B2 interview but denied on December 16th, but I'm hoping to try it again anytime soon. Yeah, try it. Try the B1, B2 visa. Try it again. Many fail on the first attempt, second attempt, but they come to win later on. Some win in the first trial, so don't give up. Just try whichever means. And then Hassan says, how can I go to other country if I choose to do my interview with the country? And which visa status should I go to that country, please? So if your interviews and in a different country from where you are, what you need to get, if I'm getting you right, is just a temporary visa that will allow you to visit that place, get the medical examination, and then attend the interview. Just a temporary visa, not a permanent visa. Just need a temporary visa, maybe a visit visa, go to that country, but make sure that you have sufficient time to do your medical examination and then the interview. So just a temporary visa. Yeah, Edward Jones says you have cleared my doubt, which I highly appreciate. Thank you. Then Margaret Gedaiga, hi verified. So Margaret, you need to ask your question first because I'm just coming to a close. Let me wait if Margaret has some question. We have Sepiso. I just wanted to understand, when it comes to qualifying with high school diploma, does it matter whether you passed or failed, or as long as you have completed high school? Yeah, it does matter on the performance, but the qualification are very low, so you have to have passed. A fail is not accepted. It is not, I've not seen a fail getting through. Yeah, you need to have passed. But remember, by passing, you get the minimum grade for passing. Minimum grade for passing, you're qualified. But if you have a fail, I've seen the Western bloc, the West African bloc, having issues with the education. So you need to have passed. No fails. Now, Edward Jones asked the personal email. I don't normally give my personal email to anyone because of security reasons. I used to do that, but there is something that happened that was not good. That's why I don't just give it. But you can contact me just for security reasons through the website. Just go to the website and contact me. So you need to contact me through that. That way I can know a serious person. If you contact me through the website, of course there will be some charges, but that way I know how to filter good people and those bad people. I don't want to risk it because I used to do that, but there came a problem. So that is the website that I've pasted there. You can click that. You just go and try to contact me, and then we shall. And every one of you, if you want to contact me, you go through the website. There are some charges, but I've told you for security purposes, I can be able to filter and know the legitimate person and everything through the website, not by openly giving the email. Sorry for that. For those who were with me when I started, that is some years back, I used to give it, but something tragic happened, so I don't want to do that again. So finally, how do I contact you? Yeah, Patrick Yeboah, the same route. Go to the website that I've pasted there. It is called guidingmein.com. Contact me through that route. There are some charges, but I told you it's because I want to screen. I don't want to undergo what I underwent sometimes back. And the last question, and also please add Ghana to the payment option. Yeah, Ghana cannot access the PayPal. Yeah, you are restricted from the PayPal. I can. What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? Because Ghana is restricted from the PayPal option. Yeah, we shall see what to do. Maybe for Ghana to help them, can we go the, I don't know if the chat route under the video is able, one can be able to filter. I don't know. Or by joining the group, can one filter? I don't know. We shall look for ways. Anyway, how many 2NLs are sent out by Abu Dhabi? By the end of last week, the Abu Dhabi embassy 51 cases were ready. That means they were ready to be sent the 2NLs. So around 51, yeah, by the end of last week. Anyway, I've waited for the one who came late. That was Margaret, to ask question, but it seems that she's okay. Has got no question. So Purity Jerry says, hello, verified. So we are a family of 5, prepared our passport, our marriage certificate on the way. What other documents are vital as we wait for the May results? For now, as you're waiting for the results, you don't need to gather any document. If you have passport, that's good. If you have marriage certificate, that's good. The only thing you need when filling the DS260 form is the host's permanent address. The host address, that is the only thing that you need. So you need to look for a host for you to get the permanent address. That is an address in the United States. That's the only thing that you need. So long as, because I see you have the passports, the only thing you need, look for a sponsor, not a sponsor, for a host to give you the permanent address. That's the only thing that you need in case you get selected. And then we have, and then Njeri, the other documents we shall prepare them after filling the DS260 form. Every other documents that we need. Yeah. Sorry, in the house I was called. Now, some more questions here. Yeah, Margaret is back. My question, you have answered. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Margaret. And then I have Patrick Yebo. I have to contact KCC. Yeah, do that. Contact KCC. And then we have Isaac Mpini. On high school, is it a must that you must have English, math, science? No, there is no limitation on the subjects. No, you just need to have passed and you have the high school diploma. And then we've got Eklon. Based on the that is the Abu Dhabi performance, do you think AF47 can be interviewed in, and it's very safe? Just once your case is reached there, it's very safe there. And then we've got Sesipo. Thanks for answering my question. The other question is that if you have a child who is below 21 and he or she is having a child, allowed to be added on the parents? No, she's not. No, what are you saying? She has a child. Yeah, if she has a child, she's eligible to be added. But if married, maybe you have a kid that has a child and is married, she does not qualify or he does not qualify. She should be under 21 years of age and not married, unmarried. Then David Bar, I'm in Canada. Yeah, how are you, David? And my wife and children are in Ghana. Can they have interview in Ghana and mine in Canada? Yeah, it is possible, though not encouraged. It is highly discouraged. And I'll give you a reason as to why. If you decide to do separate interviews, one thing you need to do, you need to go for the interview first and then communicate with the embassy in Ghana and schedule an interview for your derivatives in Ghana. And remember, their interviews should not go beyond the fiscal year. And you never know, Accra, Ghana is very slow. You might book interviews for your derivatives and they end up getting late. The year ends without them having their interviews, and by so doing, it's doomed, it's kaput with them. So that is not the best route to go. The best route to go is the expensive way. Just look for the visas. Let your kids come over to Canada and do your interview from the Ontario. Just take or get the passports, the visas, let them join you. That is the expensive way, but it is the most rewarding way. And then we have this one. Hi, does it mean that when you submit double entry, you're given two different confirmation numbers? Pamela, that question is very important. You are not supposed to submit two entries. If you do that, you are highly disqualified. Instantly disqualified. No two entries. If you do that, don't even expect to be selected, because you are knocked off the lottery. And then Accra isn't sending to an else. That's true. Accra is boring. And then Yebo, I heard you can file a petition. How is it possible that way? A petition for what? For not getting visa approved? Hell, no, you will not be successful. You cannot succeed. That one cannot happen unless you're referring to filing a petition as a legal permanent resident or a green card holder in the United States. You're filing for maybe your spouse or your parents. That is possible. If you're filing for a visa for someone as a green card holder, then that's possible. But if you want to petition for a visa not approved, then you can't petition that. And then we have, how is the Bahamas embassy? Is it good? And you are to have an interview. Will you recommend that for me? Will you recommend that for me? That is the question. Now, let me check for you. For now, Nassau Embassy has interviewed a total of 3, which is not bad. So, yeah, let your interview be there. Let your interview be there. It's not bad. Let your interview be there. And then, yeah, thank you guys for being around with me. I had not planned for this live, so thank you for me babbling there, but I know it has been helpful. So please remember, if you have not subscribed, please do so. Share this live with your friends, and if you have more questions, do post them on the comment sections. I'll be more than glad to answer those questions. So thank you guys. Let's meet again.